All right, let's shift gears, talk a little bit of Micah Parsons. I want to get your all's take on this, because there's a portion. It's mainly it's nobody in the Packers fan base, but there are a lot of NFC North rival fan bases that seem to think that Micah Parsons' stat line is just horrible, right? Like it's just how do you pay that much money for a guy who only has 8 sacks, right? And I pointed out, Rashan Gary's right on his heels with 7.5, and he's got more run stops, right? Well, why is that? Let's explain why. PFF put this tweet out: the most double-teamed edge rushers in the NFL. Okay, look at these numbers, boys. So T.J. Watt, 49% double team rate. Okay. And what that means is 2 guys are locked on them blocking the entire rep. That's what that means, right? Now, chip rate, 32% of the time he's getting chipped. That's most in the league. All right. And what that means is a running back or a tight end just blasting him off the line and then going into the route. When you hear us call out a play on Chalk Talk and we say leak, that's a chip, right? That's a tight end chipping and leaking. That's a running back chipping and leaking and getting into the route. So you're knocking them off their pass rush and allowing the offensive lineman to absorb them. Okay. So again, TJ Watt, 3rd in double team rate, 30 and 1st in chip rate. Myles Garrett, this surprised me. I thought Myles Garrett would be 1st in both, to be honest with you. Myles Garrett, 58% double team rate. That's 2nd most in the league. 3rd in chip rate at 26% of the snap. So he's 2nd and 3rd in that regard, right? 1st in double team rate in the entire National Football League is your very own Micah Parsons at 59% of his snaps. He's being double team blocked. And 21% of the time, he's still being chipped, which is 7th most in the league. But again, that double team
99% of the time he's being held.
And I'm still baffled because there's media members that are still saying, and they're still using this talking point of, I really expected Rashan Gary to break out with Micah Parsons. He has. Yeah. He's on pace to have his first double-digit sack season. He's only a half a sack behind Micah Parsons because Micah Parsons is getting all this. It's worked. Mm-hmm. And look at your run defense and how it's affected it, right? Because the reality is they're having to kind of double team Parsons on some of the run fits too. They need to know where he's at. He's a good run defender as well. So it has unlocked Gary, and it's like people forget that the last 3 weeks we've been playing some mobile quarterbacks, and that's going to harness the cage rush a little bit, right? It's going to bring in the cage rush, the touch spies, all that stuff. I expect Rashan Gary to finish the season, if he stays healthy, with over 10 sacks, and I think he'll lead our defensive line group, Emilio, in run stops as well, which he's doing right now. He's actually 5th in the league in run stops amongst all defensive linemen, okay? And then, of course, you've got our boy Micah Parsons, who 8 sacks, and he's just a double-team machine here. The thing I'm a little disappointed by is the interior defensive line. I feel like they should be more effective. Gary, you're getting the production, right? You're getting the run, especially in the run defense, and you're getting solid pass rush production. You're getting all these snaps with 59% of the time. Micah Parsons is basically giving you a +1 hat count, right? So what's going on in the middle? That's the part that kind of bothers me a little bit. I want to get your all stake. I thought this number was awesome, man. 59% of the time, Emilio, they're having to double team this cat.
He's a dog. He's an absolute dog. That's why we brought him here. That's why you're paying the big bucks. And that's the fact that you're seeing him in those pictures that all the national are talking about. That's what we're paying for. Great. And I'm not even sure we completely overpaid. It depends. I guess we'll see how it plays out and see what he does. But dude is a freak, just like Myles Garrett. TJ still getting that respect there. I just love that we have him, right? The defense has been different and will continue to be different with him. I think that he's teaching them some of that mentality. I mean, if you listen to some of his pressers, some of the mentality that dude has, the way he keeps fighting and driving, and the motivational things that he listens to. And he said that he was going to send some of that stuff to LVN. Just like all the little stuff that keeps you going through that day to day is huge for this team. He's gonna be a freak. Get him double digits, like you said. Get Rashan double digits, and let's see what we can get for LVN moving.
I agree. Great players make the team better, right? And that's what Micah does. I mean, I don't think we overpaid either. I think we're gonna, hindsight being 2020, we're gonna look back and Goody Cook, man. Thanks, Jerry. We know the story, and 1st in the NFL double team rate, and he beats them like a drum on a weekly basis. We see it all the time, fighting through holds, fighting through doubles. he's influencing this defense. And, we've seen it, trickle down to the secondary. We talked about, the opportunities that, CV and these guys are getting. They're going to capitalize. It's just a matter of time before it really, comes to fruition. But, you got to love the addition of Micah Parsons, on this team for sure.
And when you look at the defensive rankings right now, and Emilio, every time I pull up this spreadsheet, guys, there's a new color code on it. It changes by the second live on the show. That's what he's doing over there, evidently. So Green Bay's defensive scoring, they're 5th in the league, right, in defensive points per play allowed. And in defensive yards per play allowed, they've jumped all the way to 3rd. So they're 3rd best in yards per play allowed. And obviously Micah Parsons is playing a big role there. And back to the whole Gary thing, I would love for Rashan Gary to lead the league in sacks and just be Myles Garrett. He's not him. No. He's not. How many times do we have to say it? My question is, if you're not happy, if you're not impressed with what Gary's done with the addition of Micah Parsons, what were your expectations? Like, were you truly expecting Rashan Gary to lead the league in sacks because Micah was here? I wasn't. What I was looking for, you notice, I don't focus on the sacks and the individual statistics too much, right? I focus on those team stats. I want to know where we're ranking amongst everybody else in the league. Where do you sit on defense? How many yards per play are you allowing? How many points per play are you allowing, right? What's your turnover margin, that type of thing. That's the stuff that I want to see improve. I could give a rat's ass on who's leading in sacks and who's got – that doesn't – I mean, it puts you in a position to win games, but ranking in those team statistics in terms of – how often you're shutting down the opposing offense, right? That's what matters the most. So I honestly don't know, and I'm genuinely asking, what did people expect Rashan Gary to do that they're upset that he's 10th in the league in sacks this year and he's 5th in run stops amongst defensive linemen? Do you guys have a number? Would it be he would have to lead the league in sacks before you go, okay, Gary's worth it? Like, what do you think that number is?
I have no idea. I don't know what they're going to be happy with. It's his 2nd lowest missed tackle.
They don't know either, right?
No, they don't. Looking at PFF, his 2nd lowest missed tackle percentage of the career is his lowest was in 2021 at 5. Right now he's at 8.3%, 19 stops, which is close. He's on pace probably to do his best season, which would have been last year where he had 31 tackles, 33 stops. Right now he's got 15 tackles, 19 stops, and 1 forced fumble. The dude's all over the place. And that's who we were going to trade forward for Micah and all that. No, we needed him here. That dude came back from that ACL. He worked his tail off. He's a leader in there. I feel like he's another quiet leader. You don't hear from him a lot. What he says, people do kind of thing. And I feel like he leads by action, not always having to say it.
We talked about that from the very beginning, right? The Micah Parsons deal only made sense if Bane Gary is still in Green Bay, right? I mean, I shouldn't say only made sense, but makes the most sense if you have that 1-2 combination that we have. And I don't understand what the gripe is with Rashan. I'll never understand what the gripe is with Rashan Gary in the fan base. Bane's an absolute dog, an absolute leader. Both vocally and by example. That guy is like full on 100% game mode every time he's on the football field. And, you need guys like that in your locker room. And, if you're not noticing that, I don't think you're watching, football close enough, honestly.
And it's really weird energy for people to constantly, and again, it's not the majority of the fan base, but there's a portion of the fan base and the media that they constantly look for something they can grab a hold of with Rashan Gary and see he's bad. And maybe it's because they were so dug in before that they know they look like an absolute moron now. Okay, now he's got somebody opposite him. All of a sudden, he looks like he's going to have a career year in sacks, right? All those things. It's really strange energy to me. I don't understand it. It's like 1 year I was pointing out, man, he had a 19% pressure rate. Yeah, but he don't finish. Okay, all right. So he needs to get sacks to make it. Now he's getting sacks, and those people are circling back around and going, well, his pressure percentage is only 12.5 now. Like, what do you want from him?
Watch the game. Stop watching the numbers. Stop being stat obsessed. Yeah.
And again, the snap count too. That's the other thing. Oh, his snap count's down. We laid it out, did we not, Amelia? It's within 5 that it's been the last 3 games.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. No, yeah, it was he was like 40 and then he dropped to 39, 38. That was it.
Right.
Or 38 and 39 was last game. So actually they should have been mad that the game before.
And God forbid they actually turn on the all 22, or they would notice, oh, that's why Enigbare got more snaps, because they're dropping him into coverage.
Yeah.
They wanted to run a fire zone approach against Jameis Winston and try to force some interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
That's the answer I'm coming up with. But again,
it's also week 12, Clay. What happens at week 18 when you still need – all right, what happens if Rashan goes 45, 50 snaps? Are they going to say anything that, hey, did you oversnap Rashan this week compared to his numbers? I don't think that's coming up.
Yeah. And you notice how he stays healthy since the ACL too on that snap count.
Yes.
If he gets hurt, you know what they're saying? They're not going to go, oh, crap, they overused him. They're going to go, see, he can't even stay healthy.
Yep.
It's always something. It's always something. So anyway, I'm off my soapbox. It just drives me crazy because this should be a positive thing. And it is. I need to mention too, the people that I've got in my mind that complain about this are the ones who always say, no, I'm not a Packer fan. I just cover them. I'm not a Packer fan. I just cover them. You know what I hear every time I hear that? I'm not a Packer fan. I'm going to try to drum something up here to talk about. I'm going to try to that's what I hear every time I hear that. It's really weird. It's weird energy. So, all right. Let us know what you think about Micah Parsons, though. I thought that number was awesome. This is a positive thing. People should be happy about this. They shouldn't use this as a reason to now try to tear down Rashan Gary or tear down Devontae Wyatt or anybody else. But let us know in the comments how you feel about Micah Parsons. Have you been happy with the addition of him? Do you think it's worth the money, worth the draft picks you gave up? Maybe you don't think it is. Keep it respectful. Let us know where you disagree in the comments. We want to hear from you. And make sure you do us a favor, hit like, subscribe, and click that bell icon so you're notified when we go live here in the future.